Hey, what is up, guys? It is Slick or Slickmuff here, back again with another video. And in this one, we've got to talk about Jason Schreier's responses to my video. It didn't take but 5 minutes, probably less, for him to respond to my video questioning my claims that he was not sure about what the DC game actually is. So he claims that he knows what the Rocksteady video game is, even though he came out with this leak. A couple days later, he posts on Reddit, actually, I'm not sure. He says, here, I'll point out, that he's not even 100% sure. And he says, oh, now he's 100% sure, and we're supposed to believe this. But when he dropped the leak, he admits that when he dropped it, he wasn't even sure. So how can we question, or assume the validity of a leaker or scooper that doesn't even know 100% certainty? You know, if you're going to drop a scoop, you need to be certain, beyond a reasonable doubt, 1,000% sure that this is the case. So he responds, he says, "You're so bad at this. If you had just asked me, I'd tell you now that I'm 100% sure what the game is." Doubt that would be the case. But anyway, so I respond to this, and you can see here on his Reddit posts, oh, you can't see it very well there, to be totally transparent. With this particular game, I'm 90% sure, but not 100% sure. I prefer to be 100% sure before reporting anything. That's not to say that I'd report on this one even if I were 100% sure, but it's a factor. So he comes forward and he claims that he is certain about this games as a service game, maybe like this free-to-play Rocksteady game or something like that. And he really doesn't know. He says that he's 90% sure, whatever that means. I don't know how you quantify certainty in this case. He's making a hypothesis. He's sort of guessing how sure he is. And so I talk about this, that this is not really a scoop. I don't know how this is useful to anyone. He's not saying anything. He's just saying it's a superhero game, but he doesn't even say it's DC. And now he just tweeted me a couple minutes ago and he confirms that it's DC. I use the term confirms in air quotations because, as I'll highlight to you, he doesn't actually know what the game is, I don't think. So anyway, and he also posted this Reddit post. This is the funniest part. He posts about how, oh, I just care so much about the feelings of these Rocksteady staffers. I can't. Oh, it's their life work, and I can't possibly spoil it. I just can't. I care so much about their feelings, and they're so excited to reveal the game. And even though I know what it is, he says 100% sure. He's really not. He admits after the fact he's not 100% sure. He's like 90, if that. I just care so much. I can't hurt their feelings. They're so excited, and I'm just going to wait for them to drop the trailer. I mean, I know. I'm Jason Schreier. I know every game that's going to come out 7 years before it does. But I don't want to hurt Rocksteady's feelings. They've worked so hard. I just can't do it. Okay, and then meanwhile, we go to his website, Kotaku. Every freaking week, there's a new leak. Rhyme intended. He says, oh, I just can't leak their game. I care so much. It's just, I can't do it. I can't find it in myself to do it. But literally, this game is leaked. This game is leaked. This game is leaked. Oh, I heard about this. Oh, this game. Yeah, like 6 months before the trailer drops. Far Cry 4, whatever. Like, you can go back and look at all the games that he scooped. And I'm not saying that on the whole, he isn't somewhat reliable. He's been correct on some things. He's been incorrect on some things. In this case, I just think that he's making up that he knows. If he knows, he would reveal. He would say what the game is. My point is that his argument, what he is telling us, is the reason that he's not saying the game. The real reason is that he doesn't know. But his cover story is that he cares so much about not leaking the game. He really wants to not hurt Rocksteady's feelings. They're really excited about a surprise reveal, and he doesn't want to ruin the surprise. But we all know that's nonsense. Look at his track record. He leaks games for a living. That's what he does. He's known as a scooper. He says he's a games journalist. I've never read any of his, hot takes on any things. All I know is just when he leaks shit, when he leaks games. That's what he does. He's a leaker. That's all he's known for in the industry. It's not an insult to him. He's one of the most, respected guys in the industry. I'm just saying with this game, he doesn't know. It's clear. The cover story that he cares deeply about Rocksteady's feelings, about not ruining the surprise. He ruins surprises for a living. That's what he does. It's complete nonsense. No one is buying this argument. Nobody is buying this argument. So he's getting his fans on me, and, I point out here he's exposing that his scoops is facts when he's not 100% sure. He posted this story, and he admitted ex post facto that he doesn't even know. He literally does not even know. Completely embarrassing. So now he responds, oh my god, I haven't seen all these. Okay, he says it's DC. What Rocksteady game, though? It's a game about superheroes, not one I've seen theorized a ton. I really don't want to say much more. See, I mean, it's just like, I really don't want to say much more. I don't want to ruin the surprise. And meanwhile, let's go to Kotaku and just see this scoop, trailer dropping next week. He ruined the whole Game Awards, I'm pretty certain. So, I mean, it's just like silly. It's just absolutely silly. Actually, he didn't ruin the Game Awards. I don't know if he had any scoops for the Game Awards. But, yeah, so this is just a cover story. Don't be fooled. He doesn't know what the game is. If he does, Jason, I know you're watching this video. Jason, if you know what the game is, release it in 24 hours. Don't sell us this bullshit story about you caring about ruining the surprise. We know that's not true. For a living, you ruin surprises. I think you get joy out of it. So, if you don't release it in the next 24 hours, we all know you don't know. We fucking know it. We know that you don't know. You're just making this like, oh, it's not highly theorized. I mean, this doesn't mean anything. We can't see when the trailer drops. We can't go back and say, oh, he was right or wrong. Because how something that's been theorized a ton, how do you quantify that? He could say that Justice League hasn't been theorized a ton. He can go back and say, oh, I didn't know Justice League was theorized a lot about. But yeah, that's the game. If he knows, he'll release it in 24 hours. If he doesn't, which he doesn't, pretty certain, then we'll see. So anyway, my point of this video, just don't believe the nonsense. I guess it's good to know that he thinks that it's, DC, if he's right. I hope he's right. I hope that he's right. But, yeah, it's just absolutely silly. And he's getting his whole fanboys on him. But thank you all so much for the support on the last video. A huge and excellent like to dislike ratio. And over 1,000 views in just 20 or so minutes. So great support on that video. And thank you all so much for watching this one. And I apologize for the dramatized nature of this video, but it's just really frustrating to see him disguising his ignorance and the fact that not his ignorance, I'm not saying he's an ignorant person, his ignorance on this issue, I mean to say. And, I don't dislike the guy personally, I'm just saying that he's full of shit, It's blatantly obvious. I just can't say it again. This argument that he deeply can I find the Reddit post? And as people are starting to point out on Twitter, it's just not true. It's a bunch of baloney. Shout out to Evan. Sorry, I don't mean to get him involved in all this. Okay, so anyway, if Jason Schreier, I'm just gonna end it at this, and I've got a lot of people here supporting me. I mean, he sent his whole army after me, and maybe he did. Oh, okay, he still does have the post. Okay, I used to be of the belief that a reporter should share absolutely everything they hear. You might be telling Rocksteady, Chris about Rocksteady's making next, but it doesn't feel right to me. I've given this a lot of thought and talked to my boss. We just don't see much value in it. There's no greater story here or context. And it's absolutely not worth spreading misinformation. So he even admits he might be spreading misinformation, first of all. But second of all, there's this cover story inherent in this that he doesn't want to leak everything. He really doesn't want to ruin the surprise. It's not newsworthy. There's no point. So all of this, once again, is a cover story. Let me be very clear. Jason Schreier leaks video games for a living. He leaks games for a living. And now in his Reddit post, he says, I just can't find it in myself to do it. There's no story here. There's no point. I don't see the point in doing this. But every week, every month, every year, this is what this guy does. His cover story is a complete farce. We know that he doesn't know what the game is. And I just want to end on this. If he comes out right after the leak and he says, okay, actually, I'm sorry, I really wasn't 100% sure about this leak. Which is obvious. He didn't even put in the leak what the game is. He says it's games as a service, whatever that means. He doesn't give any details. He clearly doesn't know anything about the game. So that's established. He doesn't know anything. So that's the first thing you have to understand. The second thing is, when he tries to say that he does know something about it, and then realizes ex post facto that he doesn't, or that his source is wrong, or whatever, if he comes forward and says, hey, I was wrong, I thought I knew something, I got a little brazen, I don't know what the game is, I'm just going to delete this. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. That's one thing. But he's trying to save face. And now he's attacking me on Twitter. He says, oh, I do know what the game is. He's very, very smug. Exactly what we're talking about here. And everyone on Twitter is really, siding with me. I don't know if he was paid by Rocksteady to not spoil it. That's a possibility. I don't know. I really don't. But it would be very profitable for him if he would say, hey, I know you're making this. I'm about to leak it, He might do that. I don't know. But I actually think that he doesn't know what the game is at all. And once again, it's pretty obvious. He says that he cares about not leaking the game, about not ruining the surprise, even though his entire career history proves that he doesn't, even as recently as last month leaking games. And now we're supposed to believe all of a sudden he's had a change of heart and doesn't want to ruin the surprise. Complete nonsense. He claims that he knows what the game is. Jason, I'll leave it at this. Finally, if you know what the game is, you will tweet what the game is in 24 hours. And when the trailer comes out, I will formally apologize if you come out and say it. But I've really demonstrated that you don't know. It's pretty obvious. Everyone can see right through your smugness and pretentiousness. We know that you don't know what the game is. If you do, you'll release it in the next 24 hours. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up. But once again, I don't think that he will because I don't think he does. But if he does, and what he leaks turns out to be correct, I will formally apologize when the trailer drops in 24 hours. But anyway, Jason, we can see right through you, buddy. You've got 24 hours to, nothing happens, we just all realize that you just made this up and your credibility is not reliable. And in the future, I apologize for ever reporting on his leaks. I just don't think they're credible. He even admitted here that he posted this leak when he wasn't even sure, when he wasn't even certain about it. And now he's kind of backtracking on it. And once again, this is just all a cover story. It's really easy to see right through, but you've got to kind of look for it to look through the politics of it. And the fact that his career is dependent upon being a reliable scooper, right? That's all we know him for. He writes a book about, blood, sweat, and pixels is the name of his book, which is fine. I'm not roasting his book. That's fine. But I'm saying, no one's, his book isn't world famous or anything like that. He's famous for leaking games. That's what he does. And he's trying to save face. I understand. Everything that is happening is completely consistent with rational decisions that this man would make to protect his career. But I'm just saying that he's made a mistake and needs to fess up to it, or he needs to prove that he really does know what the game is and demonstrate that. Okay. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching and the incredible support once again and backing me up on Twitter. This guy, I understand that I'm challenging him, but he's being very, very pretentious and aggressive. He's saying I'm stupid. I'm not calling him stupid. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's evil. I'm not saying he's bought out by Rocksteady. People are theorizing that, and people are beginning to see that that's maybe a possibility. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying he's a bad journalist. I'm just saying that he's kind of all hat, no cattle, as they would say in Texas. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If Jason knows what the game is, he will release it in 24 hours, but I don't think that he does. But we'll see. We'll see if he ends up doing it. He'll probably say, oh, I care so much about Rocksteady's feelings and don't want to ruin the surprise, as if his entire career doesn't show that he doesn't give a shit about that. And it's just a cover story. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you all. It's been a great video. Great, productive. So I'm going to enjoy the hundreds of tweets from, fans backing me up is mostly what I've seen, but also there have been, a couple stragglers of really aggressive Kotaku fanboys, I guess, and some of his other writers and other game industry people, attacking me, calling me stupid, blah, 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 blah. I'm just making an observation. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking. Okay. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.